Welcome everyone to another chess video. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to checkmate with a king and a queen against a lone king. Here we have the white lone king and the black king and queen. So the white lone king wants to stay in the center of the board. Not that there's much hope in this position at all. It is mate in 12, but we want to keep the king in the center of the board to prolong this game until its maximum length. Maybe black doesn't know how to checkmate with a king and a queen, and maybe they can run into a stalemate. But here I'm going to give black a solution, or white a solution, depending on what king is the lone king, and we're going to learn how to checkmate. So the king wants to stay in the center of the board, and we're going to play king e5 to stay in the 4 central squares. Then we're going to drop our queen, queen to d7. Now, why don't we put the king in check? Well, we don't want to put the king in check because we want to keep what's called a knight's shadow to the king. If you notice, a knight can move just like that queen. A knight, if the queen were taking the position of the knight, no, if the knight were taking the position of the queen, this would be check. So, wherever the king moves, we want to keep our queen in a knight's shadow from the king. Okay, so it doesn't matter. Even if the king moves here, move your queen there. So in the exact direction that the king moves, that's how you can put the king in the knight's shadow. You move it here, you move it there. So queen f4 and king g2. We want to drive the king into the corner. So, for example, king g1, then we have to play queen f3. Then we have, finally, I can't go to the corner yet because it would be in a check zone. King g2, then we do the same thing, a diagonal move. Queen g4. Then now the king is finally forced to h1, a corner, and we don't want to move the queen here because if we move the queen here, it is called a draw. It is a stalemate because the king can't move anywhere without being put into check, so that's why we want to stay here, giving it only 2 squares. Sorry, these 2 squares right here. So what we're going to do now is bring our king into the action as the king shuffles in its h1 and h2 territory, soon to lose the game. We keep on bringing our king closer to the attack scene and finally bring our queen down to g2, and this is checkmate because the king can't move anywhere without being out of check, and it also cannot take the queen as the king is guarding it. So let's review that one more time, and then I think you should be good on knowing how to check with the king and queen. So we'll go with just like last time, and there we go. Okay, so the king's staying in the middle of the board, just like this. Then we keep it in that knight's shadow. We keep the queen in the knight's shadow, queen d7. Then we have king f4. And then we have queen e6, king g3, queen f5, king h2, queen g4, king h1. Then we have the king b7. The king b7 getting the king all the way here before we get to checkmate. King h2, king c6, king h1, king d5, king h2, king e4, king h1, king f3, king h2, and queen g2 checkmate. And we have won the game for black. So that is how to checkmate with a king and a queen. The key is to keeping the queen in a knight's shadow. Why am I forgetting the word shadow? In a knight's shadow away from the king. All the way until we reach the end of the board, until we reach a corner, in which case we don't want to play queen g3. If we play queen g3, the game is over. And not for black's wanting. Black wants to checkmate because they're up 9 points, so they don't want to definitely play queen g3. If they play queen g3, the game's over, stalemate, as I explained already. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll be sharing some more videos with you guys later on. So that is how to checkmate with a king and a queen against the lone king. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and bye.